So we're going to go up to Cerberus, right click, and duplicate devices and tracks. Let's call it Mini Cerberus, since it's the cute little top end that'll end up ripping people's heads off. Hit tab and link it up. And now let's get to work. I'll solo it out so we can hear it. Now, first thing we're going to do is go down to the Thor instance and remove the other two oscillators for both of the Thor instances. Remember, the other oscillators were filling out the sound, and since we'll be layering this with the synth we just made anyway, there's no need for that extra messiness. Now let's change the wavetables. I chose two different ones for a nice wide sound. Now, for this one, I chose PPG27 Formant, and for the other one, I went for Mixed Waves 3. Obviously, just find ones you like. I also removed the comb filter modulation for both of these. And if we go back up to the mixer, I only pan them slightly. So something around 10. So we've got a nice thick wall of sound hitting the listener, and it's not all just in the sides. Let's remove one of these EQs. Now let's take a listen to what we've got so far. Okay, let's change the EQ settings. We're going to boost around 6 kilohertz by 6 decibels. And a nice, 1.5 Q, just for that brightness. We're going to cut a bit higher up this time, 550, by a bit less, 4 decibels. And 2 Q for clarity. And we're going to boost the whole high shelf from as low as it will go, 3 kilohertz, by a nice 5 decibels. And the lowest Q. A drastic change since, as I said, this is the high-end synth that will layer with the nice deep bass we made earlier. And that reminds me we're going to mute the sub. You don't want two subs messing with each other in the mix. So let's listen to it so far. Hell yeah. Okay, now for the fun part. We put in a Scream 4 distortion earlier. Let's move that up so we can see it. As an auxiliary send, meaning that we get that signal and the original clean signal, so we get the dirt from the distortion and the clarity and power from the original sound. So we're going to turn it on. Cut and body sections we're going to leave off. Let's dial it in by 3/8 in both of these synths. And let's turn it to distortion mode. Leave that damage control where it is, and take P1 almost to full, and P2 to full. Again, play around till you get something you like, but I really like this tone, especially when I did some ridiculously harsh EQing to it. Which I'll do now, right-click, create, M-Class Equalizer, and here we go with the ridiculousness. Turn this all the way up to about 10 kilohertz. Something stupid. 12 decibels. And we're also going to do a more kind of wide thing for the top. 7.5 will do. And a nice wide part. So we've got a decent kind of hump there, pushing up the whole high end, and a very piercing section there. So let's take a listen without either of those. Add in one of them. And the other. Now this seriously brings out that robotic buzzsaw tone from the top end of the synth. Now we're going to add a maximizer. Right click, create maximizer. Full input gain and turn down the output. Then for some reason when you turn on the 4 milliseconds look ahead, it gives it this mid-range power that's subtly in the tone. Take a listen, see if you can hear it. I'm not sure why on this one. Maybe someone can explain it in the comments. Maybe it's too subtle for you to notice, but I like it. So let's combine these together. Delicious. Let's take a look at those notes. But join them together. Not much by way of melody here. We've got a minor key and pitch bends are the order of the day, as you can see in this one. I recorded that with my MIDI keyboard, but you can just right-click, as you can see here, the pitch wheel. You can right-click on that and click Edit Automation, and that will allow you to draw in the automation yourself. And another thing to mention is if you're going to be doing pitch bends, make sure that every synth has the same range amount above the bend wheel, otherwise it'll sound weird. Fortunately, 7 seems to be the default for Thor and Subtractor. So that stutter at the start, as you can see, is a series of really short notes, all F. Then the slight melody change at the end, we've got this pitch bend first. F, F, then it goes down to E flat, and then up to F sharp, and then it resolves and loops round back to the F. Now these notes being the closest to the root note causes a lot of tension, and since they're in a minor key with a huge dirty bass, it's got this great evil feel to it. You'll hear this kind of progression a lot in darker electronica songs. And there we have it. A bass synth more robotic and powerful than Arnold Schwarzenegger's acting, even when he wasn't portraying a robot. If you haven't seen his early film Hercules in New York, that's definitely worth a watch. If you found this tutorial useful, be sure to check out my channel where I've got a bunch of other videos including some in-depth tutorials on how to make a dubstep song from scratch, including more dirty basses, along with a bunch of other genres. Cheers for watching, and have a nice day!